It's not Venom. He's Venom.
So today I wanted to show you guys the reality of trying to go on a toy hunt and try to collect action figures when you live in a small town of like 35,000 people tops. There is only one Walmart where we have one store that's like a Ross for you guys, but we call it Hart. Other than that, we don't have a GameStop, we have a Best Buy, but they don't have action figures. And that's pretty much it. I know we have a few like card stores, card shops, but they only hold Lego. I don't know if they have Blocky, so I will go and check it out, or I could just call, but you know, for the purposes of the video, let's just freaking go there. It's a small town, it's not gonna take me ages. This car is like super freaking snowed in.
So the toy section at Walmart has a healthy dose of Transformers. There's also these big bags, Power Rangers, which are freaking awful. I mean, sorry if you collect those, but these are not the ones I want. They got some tiny Star Wars stuff here. And we got some McFarlane, of course. Oh my gosh, look at that. But again, I don't collect McFarlane because for the price, this is ridiculous. And look how ugly her face looks. No wonder people don't want these, Todd. It's not because they don't want female action figures, it's because they look fugly. Here we have Mix Mashers Marvel action figures. I think it's cool because like you can teach your kids to kid bash really early on. And there's other Marvel stuff, but no Marvel Legends at all whatsoever, as you can see. The shelves are pretty freaking empty. There's dinosaurs here and there. There's a lot of wrestling stuff. Now, I love wrestling, just like any other 90s kid, but I don't really collect the figures because I don't like Mattel style. I don't think they look really that good. There's some Beyblade stuff. It's kind of weird to see that coming back, but hey, it is what it is. There's some Golden Axe action figures. That is crazy. That's the Sega Genesis game, dude. And as usual, a bunch of Pokemon figurines, which I'm not really into. I think I'd probably do some Blockies, but yeah, some Sonic stuff. It looks really cute. Maybe a Blocky Sonic I would get. And then this is always the only freaking Black Series Star Wars there is there. Who wants that? No one wants that for $35, bro. Hell no, ain't no one gonna buy that. I actually found some Dragon Stars, but they're $34 Canadian, and the articulation looks like crap, so I did not get any. I actually did find some Marvel Legends at Walmart, but it was in a clearance section. I only got pictures though, but it was a character from Eternals that no one gives a freaking crap about. And there was also like a WWE action figure too. So that's all there was. Now I'm at this store that's called Hart. It's like basically a Ross. I'm just looking around for 112 vehicles. I didn't find any there, but there's some cool stuff here, little cars in there. But there was some, Marvel and DC figures. It's just mostly for kids, kids' toys. It's Marvel Legends like Rogue for $16. It's not Venom. He's Venom. They look pretty stupid looking. They look vacant. But yeah, like the rest of this section is just really young kids' toys, stuff that they can't hurt themselves with, or that has small parts that they can choke on, I guess. Except these ones, which are freaking tiny Star Wars action figures. I don't understand. But they're still expensive, like $10 for these. There's also Transformers. But that's it. Now I'm at the dollar store and look at this Iron Man. It's probably better articulated than the Fonjoy model kit I made. It's also a Superman. Look at that. They're articulated, guys. But these small skateboards at the dollar store are really good for dioramas because they are 112 scale. So I really like going to the dollar store for this sort of stuff. And that is also where I found the 112 scale motorcycle that I showed off. So of course I came back hella empty handed. But is it so much a bad thing? Now I've already, pre ordered some action figures that I am getting for this month. And I allow myself at least 3 to 4 action figures per month to not go over my budget. So let's say I would have found something I wanted in store, I would have went over that budget just because it's there in the store. So there are good things to living in the middle of friggin' nowhere, Canada, right? and not having a lot of stores. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we don't have retro video game stores. We had one and it closed down. We don't have a GameStop. We don't have an EB Games. We don't have a Toys R Us. We don't have anything really. All the stores that I went to was a Walmart, Hart, which is like the Canadian equivalent of a Ross, I guess. And I also went to the dollar store. And I went to a hobby store, like they have model kits, paints, cards and stuff like that. They did have die-cast models for action figures. They had like 112 scale motorcycles and quads and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. But I did pick up a Honda motorcycle. I mean, it looks cool, you know. It's a good little diecast model, and this was $20 Canadian, so it's about like $12 to $15 US. And honestly, some of them on AliExpress are the exact same price. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna get one on AliExpress and get a shittier quality. You know, this is like an actual Honda, so it's really cool. So that is about the gist of what I was able to get. If you're into McFarlane, obviously we always have a bunch here for some reason. I guess we're getting the crap that no one wants, dude. Like, but it's much easier to budget when you have to shop online, when you have to shop around, look for deals as well, you know, because I live in Canada. As I said, I don't want to pay extra duties. I don't want to pay extra shipping, like really expensive shipping for nothing, you know. So I'm always looking around for deals for stores that offer the best deals. Obviously, most of the time that's Amazon, but recently Big Bad Toy Store did have this new thing where it's like $8 shipping to Canada, plus the duty taxes are put on the figure as a tax. So it's like a $5, $5 to $8 extra. So it's really not that expensive. Honestly, it's a good deal, especially because Big Bad Toy Store does get a lot of exclusive. So yeah, it takes a bit longer to get here because of customs and whatnot, and it takes almost the same time to get us stuff from China, but still. So the fact that I have to think about what I want, it really does help me not overspend. So yeah, it kind of sucks that there's not a lot of stuff I can get around and just go to a store and grab whatever I want. But I think ultimately, for someone like me, it's probably the best thing. So I didn't want to make this video be like, oh, woe is me, look, I'm so sad, I have nothing here. I want you guys to also think about your purchases, about setting a monthly budget for action figures, not going over that, especially if you're tight on money, especially if you have a strict budget. There will be no joy in you indebting yourself for an action figure. You're going to see it on your shelf. At first, it's going to be cool. Like, oh my gosh, I've wanted this for a long time, now I have it. But the luster of that is going to wear off eventually, and then you'll just end up regretting it, which is what we call buyer's remorse. And that's why a lot of people stop collecting. That's why they end up selling off their entire collection, right? Because they can't stand to look at these things anymore because they feel so much guilt about how much money they put in that stuff. But if you collect slowly, if you take your time, if you're mindful about it, if you curate the action figures you do want, instead of just buying everything that comes out that is new because, oh my gosh, it might run out and I'll have to pay 3 times the price on the aftermarket. Like, relax. There will be a restock. If there is not a restock, don't worry about it. You probably do not need that figure anyways, especially if it's a Marvel Legends release, let's be honest. But there are a lot of stores, a lot of good stores that do pre-orders. So, you know, go on Google spreadsheet and make yourself a spreadsheet of all the action figures you want, put the prices of all of these, then add your budget, and then try to like make yourself a chart of what you want to get each month. If you do that, you'll get more enjoyment out of your figures. You know, take the time to pose them, to take pictures, to make videos if you make videos, to modify them if that's your thing, to make dioramas if that is your thing as well. There is so much you can do with these. You don't need to like get one every day or 5 a week. Like, do not overwhelm yourself with a bunch of plastic that is just going to collect dust on your shelf because that is something you will regret. But all the art that you do with those figures is something that is hard to regret because you are essentially getting your money's worth. So that's pretty much all I had to say, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, with great posability comes great responsibility.